Dawn heavy. Black market watch. Hey yo, I'm just trying to get these. Dawn heavy. Hey yo, it's black market watch. Market watch. Well, you can't tell me nothing about these stocks, these quotes, these balance sheets. Dawn heavy. Hey yo, it's black market watch. Market watch.
Good evening and welcome back to Black Market Watch. As usual, I'm your host, Don Heaven, the handsome hustler. As not so usual, we have a new set. Things are getting a little spicy around here. We decided to go with the city of Chicago skyline because it's the beautiful city that we filmed the show in. Think of it as a respect being paid to the old heads that always told me when I was a young Don to get my head out of the clouds. Congratulations, guys. Now my ass is in the clouds and I owe it all to you. Either way, for those new here on Black Market Watch, we tend to talk about finances and stock market information so that any and everybody, and I mean any and everybody, can invest if they want to. And if you don't want to, then my job is to convince you that you need to because you probably should. Think of all of this as an investing for dummies, except you're not a dummy. You're quite the opposite. And that math test that you completely tanked in 7th grade that all the kids teach you about, fuck that shit, okay? Fuck them too. It doesn't matter. Now, today we're going to talk about financial risk, what it means and why we should take financial risk. But first, we got to understand what a risk is. Like, we can't set sail and don't know if the wind is blowing or even how to work the boat. So by definition, let's ask Webster. Webster, what is a risk? A situation involving exposure to danger. Exposed to danger, harm, or loss. Now that we all understand what a risk is, how does it specifically apply to what we're talking about tonight? And what am I always talking about? So you never have to ask me again. Don Heavy's always talking about investing and money. More specifically, money and investing in the stock market. Now, throughout life, I've heard all types of excuses for all types of shit. But when it comes to investing, you hear a lot of excuses. So today we have a list of excuses, and we got them by the most frequently used. And the first excuse is, the stock market is rigged. You know what was rigged? The election in 2000. No need for us to talk about the debacle that happened this year. We know that shit was rigged. Just ask Mike Flynn. Now, some of us that believe that the stock market is rigged tend to believe that ghostwriters are rare in hip hop and that jet fuel can't melt steel beams. And the reason why we believe that is because we simply don't know, which is why we're here today. We see these billionaires getting off for all types of crime, in finance and outside of finance. But the first thing we think about is the stock market is rigged. And that's not the case at all. That guy's just fucking rich. And being that he can get off for any type of crime he wants only means that your justice system is rigged. I mean, you buy a share of a company, people shop at that company makes profits, and your share value goes up. It's a difficult process to rig. Let's be serious, people. It's really cut and dry. Kind of like doing it missionary style. You just go in and out, up and down, you go home. Some of us are completely overwhelmed by the stock ticker, and I understand. We see flashing numbers, and the first thing we think is, oh shit, the Matrix. But that's not the case at all. Actually, there's nothing happening. That shit is completely irrelevant. The only time you should really be concerned about flashing lights is when you're in the rave and you're hopped up off a couple of mollies and the lights stop flashing and then go white because you're experiencing an overdose at that point and you're about to flatline. Go get some help. Now, some of us believe that investing in the stock market is like gambling. You know what's a bigger gamble? Eating at a white family's cookout above the Mason-Dixon line. But I have a trick for that, so check me out. For every bite that you take at a white cookout, now, first of all, calm your tits. Of course, this is for white people too. We have to include y'all. I'm black. I'm not racist. There's no way I could be racist. Just ask Rachel. She can tell you. Either way, for every bite that you take, just think to yourself. Just concentrate and think, this food is so healthy and it is so good for me. And the lack of seasoning and fat back here will reduce my chances for diabetes and hypertension. Now that intense form of meditation should at least get you through half the plate. That way, you can act like you're full, leave, and
go to the fucking Wendy's, dope.
There are so many ways that gambling and stock investing are completely different. But I'll just give you one example. Say that you're feeling lucky. Okay? Not too lucky, but kind of lucky. So you got $10 and you want to go play Baccarat. So you go to the casino and you say, hey, dealer, I want to play Baccarat because it's the best fucking game on this earth. After which, you lose. Because you probably don't even know how to play Baccarat. I know I don't. I don't know shit about the game. I don't even know if it has a dealer. Either way, are they going to gradually reduce your $10 until You're done? No, they're gonna take all that shit away at once, just like UPN and black sitcoms. By the way, does anybody fucking remember?
Hello, my baby, my daddy comes just staring at the idiot box.
If you buy in on a company, let's say at $10 a share, and that company starts to fail you because you didn't really do any homework, is that money all gonna just gradually go away, or is it gonna go away all at the same time? No, it's gonna go away gradually, or at least in increments, giving you plenty of opportunities to get the fuck out of Dodge. So it's really not that big of a gamble. At least not as big as Migos putting Lil Uzi Vert on the end of Bad and Bougie. What were they thinking? Yeah, shut your ass up, man. Moving on. Now there's some of us that say, no one I know did it. No one you know invented Apple, but you're still using a Mac computer and you still have an iPhone. No one you know invented that car you're driving, but your ass is still driving it. Hell, no one you know invented condoms, but... Alright, maybe that's a bad example because you probably don't use condoms even though you should. The point is, just because you don't know who invented these things makes it worthless? No, people, do your homework. The more financially successful people you read up on, the more comfortable you'll feel in their position. I mean, let's think about people that we all know about. I got 3 off the top of my head. Oprah, Oprah's dog, and Oprah's glasses. Boom, there you go, right there. Let's face it, Oprah is the first person that we ever hear when discussing billionaires. And speaking of we, a lot of people who look like me believe that minorities don't have the access or assets to invest in this country. But now I have a question. What access or assets do minorities just have in the great US of A? Heavens, I'm bored to tears waiting for a response from you guys because you don't have one. Ha! So it's time for some comic relief. So the youth gets a lot of flack for the type of rappers that they listen to nowadays. Artists like Lil Yachty, or AKA Lil Boat, Young Thug, also known as Young Lady, and Designer, who's Future's baby or Baby Future, however it goes. We don't know what these guys are saying in their interviews and their music, so we're always picking fun of the younger generations. But the producers and I have put together some inaudible clips of some vets that we grew up on. Let's see if these guys and girls are people of their words.
California, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer,
What?
You remind me of a girl that I once knew. Oh no, see your face whenever I look at you. Oh no, 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 she put me through. This is why I just can't get with you. Wouldn't believe on it, remind me of her.
What?
I'm a little mother, I don't want that down on that goose right now.
What? What?
Oh, something man happened with some crazy stuff, and my partner, he was in the car. He probably listened to it. He say, "Man, Weber, come on, man." He said, I ain't gonna say too much.
Okay.
I think the most shocking thing we just found out was that was Justin Vernon and not Charlie Wilson. It's equivalent to knowing that Santa Claus isn't real. Sorry, kids. Now, for those of you who can't wrap your head around this whole risk thing, let's think about this guy now being a venture capitalist.
Here I am, the man. I'm swinging and singing and bringing the light on the mic. Again, together forever, endeavors to always prevail.
Hove didn't just start off like this. He's from Marcy's Projects, right off of Nostrand Ave, probably the single most ungentrified area in gentrified Brooklyn. If he didn't take the risks that were necessary to make it this far as a rapper, he wouldn't have made it this far as a rapper. Much less where he is today. I mean, Jay-Z has sports bars, a sporting agency, champagne, Beyonce's, streaming service. He's even co-branding director of Budweiser Selects. Let's not even talk about the other ventures like the real estate, the tech, and the clothing. Now, I know you had some S. Carters back in the day. Don't play. Don't front. And remember, this is all accomplished by this kid. No, this kid. Now, since we done made the mistake, let's put it back up there. There's something going on there. There's a resemblance, but I won't go as far as to say what. Either way, investing in stocks is in fact a risk. Yes, we know it is a risk. But if you do your homework and you do your research, and you thoroughly understand what's going on by listening to Don Heavy, you'll be able to literally capitalize on that risk in a capitalist country. That's what we do in great America. We capitalize. But that does not get us away from my favorite excuse of all time. I can't afford to invest in the stock market. which comes from the flawed notion that all investors start off rich before they actually start investing, which is not the truth. So I'm going to give you a real life example of how much you can afford to invest in the stock market so everybody knows. You've been working all week. You're tired. You don't want to see anybody. You're tired of your job. You just want to go out and have some fun. So you take $15 and you march through the doors of Applebee's because it's the most fun place on this earth, and you get 2 orders of the wonton tacos because you're balling. All right? Now, after you get those 2 orders, yes, because 4 is never enough, and they're just that damn good, you go home and your night's over. Now, let's talk about C.R.E.A.M. C.R.E.A.M is an agricultural company that specializes in growing marijuana products. Right now, C.R.E.A.M is 27 cents a share. So with that $15, you can get 55 shares of C.R.E.A.M, which is a good amount. And everybody loves marijuana companies, right? Exactly. But you still got to eat. So you cut that in half. You get $7.50 and you invest in C.R.E.A.M. That'll still get you 27 shares of this great company. After which, you can just go and sit on your butt and watch the money grow, because as marijuana consumption grows in this country, C.R.E.A.M is going to grow and everybody's going to grow. Now, I am in no way in telling you to invest in C.R.E.A.M. I'm just giving you a real life example. By the way, that other $7.50, you can take that and
Go to the fucking Wendy's, dope.
because it'll save your life. Now, this leads us to our last excuse. And the last excuse is, I don't know where to start. Well, damn, you start here. This is Black Market Watch. The purpose of all of this is to learn all of you guys something and to get you guys to actually start investing and learning about how this money works. I mean, look how dapper I look. I'm not always dressed as fine, but I am always fine. You feel me? Either way, let's come back here in a couple weeks and let's really dive in to how the money works now that we've broken the ice. Until then, don't make excuses. Just make money. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Check it out, check it out. You want to learn more about this money with Black Market Watch and Don Heavy? Right down there, click subscribe. Let's do it again.